Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the live today. Sorry, my lips just got super dry. I thought I would just touch them up. Sorry. Thank you so much for joining me on this call. I wanted to, sorry. I'm still learning StreamYard as well, obviously. But I wanted to do this live today to answer any questions that you guys have about the Profile to Profit course. It's officially launches on Monday. So right now the course students are just looking over module 1. And in module 1, the bulk of module 1 is getting yourself ready to tackle your profile. So we're looking at some settings that you can adjust to make sure that you're getting maximum visibility on your profile, as well as doing a really comprehensive target audience exercise. And ironically, I was just talking about this exercise this morning as I was delivering a workshop for a career ready program. And we were talking about this exercise because I think the one thing that many of us tend to forget on LinkedIn with our profile is our profile is a conversation. It's not a static online resume, but it is a conversation that we're having with our target audience. So that's why I feel this target audience exercise is so important. So anyways, the students that have enrolled already, that's what they're working on this week, is they're getting all of their paperwork ready for when we launch on Monday with all of the lessons that deal with the profile from top to bottom. But I wanted to answer your questions today. Please post your questions either in the Facebook chat or in the YouTube chat. I also have some commonly asked questions that have come in throughout the different master classes that I've hosted. So I'm going to answer those, but I encourage you to plunk your comments in the chat so I can answer them. So I'm just flipping over to, yes, so this was a common question. It came up a couple times on the master classes. For those people who aren't in sales, if Profile to Profit is a good course for them, because it is, I do call it a LinkedIn optimization course for sales professionals, but it's not just for sales professionals. A lot of the examples in the course deal with sales professionals because that's my background and my expertise and the people that I work with. However, the exercises are what I call agnostic in nature, that they take you on your own journey. So regardless of the industry that you're in, the journey will speak to you, and you can answer these questions for whatever industry that you're coming from. So whether you're a sales professional, whether you're a student just heading into the workforce, for a lot of people in my audience, maybe you're a meeting planner, LinkedIn Profile to Profit is still a great fit for you. In fact, when I first created Profile to Profit, which was almost a year ago now, the original intent was for those in the meetings industry. And what happened over that time is people were asking me, well, if I'm not in the meetings industry, will I capitalize on the content in the course? So the course went through actually a name change because I didn't want to exclude people who weren't in the meetings industry, because so many of the principles, of course, apply to everyone. So I hope I answered that question about Profile to Profit being a good fit regardless of the industry that you were in. So another question that came up is about those who are currently furloughed and looking for employment. So the first version of this course didn't have a lesson about open to work and about looking for employment, but this one does. So I recorded a lesson just for people who are looking for employment, because I think there are things you can intentionally do when you're open to work that's different from when you are not currently looking for employment. So the lesson, it alludes to a lot of the content that's covered in the course, but then it gives you those extra tips. So yes, there is a lesson right in Profile to Profit for those who are currently furloughed or looking for work. So if you're looking for work, I hope that answered your question. Again, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat box, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, because I want to make sure that I answer your questions. This is your time to ask questions about the course. Okay, so I've got another question here about the swipe copy. Yeah, it's a great question. So for those of you who attended my masterclass or looked at the sales page for Profile to Profit, there is a bonus swipe copy template pack. And the word swipe it's a weird word. It kind of sounds like Dora the Explorer and her friend Swiper, stop swiping. But it's essentially is that the swipe copy that I've created for this course are a bunch of invitation templates that you can use to extend to people and invite them into your network. And that way it saves you from trying to create something from scratch. So the copy that's in the swipe file, you would copy, and then you would swap out words, of course, that make sense to you. You would swap out your name, you would swap out the person that you're trying to connect to, make sure their name is in there. And of course, some other, mostly nouns that you can swap in and out of that swipe copy. In fact, thank you for the reminder, because I have my best ideas, maybe like many of you, when I'm just drifting off to sleep or waking up in the morning. And as I was waking up this morning, I was like, oh, I don't know if I have that scenario in the swipe file. So my job today is to actually update the swipe file with one other scenario that came up, and I want to make sure that my students have that invitation swipe copy. So great question about swipe copy. If you ever see that word out in the industry, now you know what it is. Question about how long it takes to go through the program. So what I've done is the program is made up of 4 modules. And right now students have access to module number 1, which is made up, I believe, of 3 or 4 introductory lessons to kind of get you ready to dive into your profile. And then what I'm doing is I'm launching the other 3 modules on subsequent Mondays. So for example, Monday, March 8th coming up here is module 2. Oops, wrong document. And then module 3 is on March 15th and module 4 on March 22nd. So the entire course itself will finish up by the end of March. And of course, I'm launching a module a day. And here's why is, yes, you can binge watch this program. You can binge watch it at the end of March if you'd like. But to get the most out of Profile to Profit, doing a lesson a day, and the lessons are anywhere between 6 to 12 minutes, but then going back to think about what's going to be the best copy for you, or how can you optimize that particular section, or what can you do with this education on creating content. So that's why I launched the lessons kind of like 1 a day, is to give you time to kind of go away and come back with a fresh set of eyes and maybe some new ideas. Now, once all the modules have launched and it's the end of March and maybe you've gone through the whole program, the modules don't disappear, the lessons don't disappear. In fact, nothing disappears. So you have access to Profile to Profit for lifetime. And as I make updates, you receive those updates either in real time or when I do a subsequent launch, which right now I'm looking at September for my next launch. And those are the updates that my former students have now received. So that new Open to Work lesson that I mentioned, anyone who was in Profile to Profit in 2020 now has access to that Open to Work lesson. And I'm thinking about different things to add to the next launch, which of course you would have access to at no additional charge. I should say this though, with these different additions I'm adding, I suspect the fall launch of Profile to Profit will be at a higher price point. I've been doing a ton of research on programs of this nature. I feel strongly that my content can change lives and change the way that you present yourself on LinkedIn. So I am going to be pricing it accordingly and being fair to market value with the course. I've had a question come in: how do I manage to market a particular product to a diverse population? So I can tell you, James, that part of Profile to Profit, what we do outline in the About section, is how to create different sections for different roles or different products that you have. So I show you how to do that and how all the settings work so that you can create an About section that speaks to a number of different audiences. Because that part can be a little bit tricky, especially with the tech inside of LinkedIn. So I hope I answered that question there. So another question came up about the LinkedIn group. So the LinkedIn group is, I suppose, live right now. I'm not jumping in the LinkedIn group every day right now, but I'm going to start jumping into the LinkedIn group quite regularly on Monday. So if you are a course participant, go and find the LinkedIn group as per the instructions inside of the course. And then when you go to the group, you will be allowed access into the group. And then we can start engaging inside of the private group. Starting Monday is when the kind of group is kind of open as our launch, and we can introduce ourselves and maybe even plunk our LinkedIn links in there, or plunk a common question you have about your LinkedIn profile. So there's going to be a ton of stuff we do in this LinkedIn group to support the students. And of course, I chose a LinkedIn group versus a Facebook group because we are on LinkedIn. However, if you have questions and aren't comfortable with the group, you know how to get a hold of me as one of my students. So the group's going to be a ton of fun. I'm really looking forward to jumping into the group with the students. And then there was a question about the LinkedIn in 10 minutes a day bonus and what that all entailed. You know, the history of this bonus started because I created almost like a system for myself. And there was a time a couple years ago where I wanted to be consistent on LinkedIn, but I was really struggling with what to post on LinkedIn every single day. So I started to put pen to paper and kind of create some sketches of a calendar of sorts. And what it did is it gave me a lot of calm, because now that feeling of overwhelm in the morning, I eliminated, because now I had this calendar and I could wake up and go, oh, well, today I'm doing this, this, and this on LinkedIn. So that's what created this bonus, or that's what sparked the idea for this bonus, is the calendars that I've already created. So LinkedIn in 10 minutes a day, what the students get out of that bonus are sample activities to kind of reduce the unknown and the overwhelm when they wake up in the morning and they're not sure what to post on LinkedIn. So it's a fantastic document, kind of, again, to save themselves some stress. It was a document I was going to market as a standalone product, and who knows, I might still do that someday. But I wanted to include it in LinkedIn because I think that's one of the biggest things that trips us up, even when we have a compelling profile, is what we should be doing to get eyes on our profile instead of it just sitting kind of static on the internet. So that's the LinkedIn in 10 minutes a day bonus that is part of the program. Sorry, I'm just going to flip over to my other questions here. Again, if you have questions about Profile to Profit, the doors are open right now. The doors are going to close tonight. Let's see if I put a comment in here, if I can. Doors close this evening at 9 p.m. Pacific, and which is midnight for you Easterners. And again, to enroll in Profile to Profit, go simply to leannecalderwood.com /LinkedIn. Again, that's leannecalderwood.com/LinkedIn. And there you can find Profile to Profit, and you can sign up for the course. Right now, the course is $197 US. That includes all the bonuses that I just described. If you had any questions about those bonuses, and there is a PayPal, and I'll be honest, the PayPal, it isn't the ideal system, but as I've been telling my students, I'm not a tech geek and a tech expert just yet. But I'm getting there. And one of the tech things I'm going to figure out for my next launch is the back-end payments. So you can pay through PayPal. That's the easiest way to pay. But if you don't have PayPal, that's okay too. So if you get a PayPal prompt, just simply enter your email address and it'll take you to a credit card screen, and you pay with a credit card, no PayPal interference at all. So if you have any questions about the PayPal and you're struggling with the PayPal, again, reach out to me and we can make something work for you so that payment method doesn't trip you up. Okay, so that's the doors are closing, like I said, tonight at 9 p.m. We've got the link up for you here. I'm just going to go back to my list of questions to make sure I've answered all the questions about the course. Yes, someone asked if I've done this course already. Yes, actually, this is the second version of the course per se. The first one was last year during the summer, and I had about 10 introductory students go through that program. They provided me with feedback on things that not only they liked, but things that created a bit of pause or confusion. So we cleaned that all up and we launched it a second time in October. So this is kind of the third reiteration of Profile to Profit. And we're not slowing down anytime soon. We're going to have the fourth reiteration come out in the fall. Now, I should mention before that is a brand new course that's going to be coming out closer to the summer about personal branding. And the personal branding course is going to touch on LinkedIn for sure, because LinkedIn is a big part of personal branding, especially if you're in a B2B industry. But there's so much more to branding than just your LinkedIn presence. So that course, it's more, it's all encompassing. It's almost like a complete transformation course for your personal brand. That's going to be coming out in the summer. And then of course, Profile to Profit will be coming out again next fall. So just gonna, duck back and make sure that I've answered all the questions here about Profile to Profit. Do you discuss LinkedIn groups in Profile to Profit? That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So yes, we do talk about LinkedIn group best practices in Profile to Profit and some of the ways that you can create content in there. And one of the biggest things about groups is even just how to find the most relevant groups for you. So I take you through those settings to ensure that the groups that you're finding are the places that you should be hanging out at in the first place. So we do that for groups. And we also talk about hashtags in Profile to Profit and capitalizing on the power of hashtags to increase your visibility and find the right conversations. So I hope that helps answer the question about groups and hashtags. If you have any other questions at all, again, just drop them in the chat, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, just drop those questions in the chat. I want to make sure that I answer all of your questions. I'm just quickly going over to the Facebook page to make sure that I haven't missed anything over there. Like I said before, even though I'm a LinkedIn geek, I'm not a technology geek. And I want to make sure that I haven't missed anything because of my lack of knowledge of the tech platforms that are going on. So I apologize. I'm just going to quickly check the YouTube and make sure I've answered all the questions that may have appeared over there as well. I hope I don't screw anything up here by doing that. Yeah, see, I probably did. So if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to end this live early. And if you have questions though, oh, thank you, Naomi, my good friend, Naomi. She's so sweet. What a great course offering to help with you with being intentional and purposeful about your LinkedIn profile strategy. So Naomi's a student of mine. She's also a friend of mine. And Naomi has her own course coming out very shortly. So if you're not following Naomi on LinkedIn, I highly recommend you do so. You're going to get a lot of tips and tricks to get you through 2021 by following Naomi's content. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's live. If you have other questions, you know where to find me. Find me over on LinkedIn. And if you're interested, again, in Profile to Profit, go to leannecalderwood.com/LinkedIn and enroll today. Doors close this evening, and my students are getting started bright and early on Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining the live today. I wish you well wherever you are on your LinkedIn journey, and I do hope to run into you somewhere soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.